season full of tension, angst, and epic fights reaches its conclusion by crowning the best MMA team in Florida right here on the Ultimate Fighter finale in the final fight of the season, and with $300,000 on the line. Both teams put their top contenders in the spotlight. American top team's heavy-handed Hader Hassan tangles with the skilled wrestling of the Black Zillions, Kamara Usman. When the dust settles, one team will walk away with the first ever Ultimate Fighter team title. Also tonight, in the main event, two supremely skilled welterweights collide. Winner of 30 professional fights, Jake Ellenberger returned to form in his last Octagon battle, dismantling Josh Koscheck in impressive fashion. Waiting for him in the Octagon, the karate wizardry of Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, who's blasted through his last four opponents, including dizzying knockouts of Robert Whittaker and Chris Clement. Beautiful knockout! It's a fast-paced finish to International Fight Week on the Ultimate Fighter finale. American Top Team versus the Black Zillions. And it starts right now.
From the world-famous Las Vegas Strip here in the great state of Nevada, we welcome you live to the Fox Sports 1 Ultimate Fighter finale, American Top Team versus the Black Zillions. Inside the arena now, we remind you closed captioning is available for tonight's telecast. And if you would like to hear the broadcast in Spanish, please check out the simulcast on Fox Deportes. And we welcome you Octagon side now. Welcome to the Ultimate Fighter finale. John Anik alongside one of the greatest living Americans. He is Brian Stan. Of course, tonight largely about the Ultimate Fighter and rival teams, American Top Team and the Black Zillions. But a welterweight contender could emerge in our main event. The surging Stephen Thompson getting a step up in competition here against number 9 ranked welterweight Jake the Juggernaut Ellenberger.
Yeah, two guys who like to get it done on the feet. And you've got one guy as a lifelong martial artist and a lifelong striker. But Jake Ellenberger owns the power in this fight. He has fight-changing power in both hands, and we've seen it. Even in fights where he's fought, now the champion, Robbie Lawler, one right hand for Jake Ellenberger can change the course of the fight. But Stephen Thompson is fast. He's accurate, and he's extremely hard to hit. He's so unique, and he's so diverse. He's one of the hardest puzzles to figure out in the 170-pound division. He's getting better with his wrestling, better on the ground every single day. Both of these gentlemen, when I talked to them this week, are laser focused on this fight. They know it's at stake. They want to prove they can contend in this division.
And for Jake Ellenberger, 4 times as much professional experience. And by the way, 2 of his last 4 fights have come against the guys who turned in that classic last night, Robbie Lawler, the welterweight champion, and Rory McDonald. All right, tonight we mentioned the Ultimate Fighter finale. We get the final match, the grudge match, representing the Black Zillions, Kamaru Usman, and American Top Team's Black Zillions killer, Hader Hassan.
A lot of pressure on these two young fighters that don't have a ton of experience. Kamaru Usman is an outstanding wrestler, great athlete, but he's evolving everywhere. You know, living with Rashad Evans and training every day at Black Zillions, he's growing each and every day. And despite being a wrestler, all of his professional fights won by knockout. Hader Hassan is a massively powerful individual, and he feels that what he showed on the show is nothing compared to what he's going to showcase tonight because he had to fight 3 times in such a short period of time. Having a full training camp for just one fight, he wants to showcase volume and thinks it's only a matter of time before he knocks out Usman.
So we changed the format for this season, the Ultimate Fighter. Jim versus Jim. American Top Team won the season-long tournament on points to win the first $200,000 up for grabs tonight in the final bout between Hassan and Usman. The final $300,000, a Harley-Davidson motorcycle, and that Ultimate Fighter trophy you see there. Also later tonight, UFC President Dana White joins me to announce the next 2 coaches for Season 22 of the Ultimate Fighter. All right, with that backdrop, we are ready to go with the main card for the Ultimate Fighter finale live from Las Vegas. The Lab's Mike Della Torre blasted through his last victim, but now he is hungry for more. And the next man standing in his way is Venezuelan veteran Maximo Blanco. Few things are tougher in mixed martial arts than fighting an opponent in his backyard. But Mike Della Torre not only did that when he faced Thiago Trator in Brazil back in February, but he won the fight by first-round knockout. Tonight, though, he'll have the home country advantage when he takes on Venezuela's Maximo Blanco. Finally hitting his stride in the UFC, the forever intense Blanco is coming off back-to-back wins over Andy Ogle and Dan Hooker. And no matter whom or where he fights, Maxi is always ready to throw down. Coming up next, we kick off the main card as Mike El Cucuy Della Torre faces Maximo Maxi Blanco. Our tale of the tape is sponsored by Bud Light, the perfect beer for whatever happens. Maximo Blanco is 31, Mike De La Torre is 28. De La Torre is 3 inches taller. You see there, Blanco missing weight by 2.5 pounds. Both men enter the octagon with a reach of 71 inches. All right, now to kick off the main card with the introductions, here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas for the Ultimate Fighter finale. American Top Team versus Black Zillions. And now, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC featherweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a Valley Judo fighter, holding a professional record, 13 wins, 4 losses, 1 no contest. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 145 and 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of Glendale, Arizona, Mike El Cucuy De La Torre. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 11 wins, 6 losses, 1 draw, 1 no contest. He stands 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighing in at 148 and 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of Tokyo, Japan, by way of Caracas, Venezuela, Maximo Maxi Blanco. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Eve Loving.
All right, Eve Levine, our referee for this one in the featherweight division. The beautiful Luciana, thank you very much. We are ready to go with round 1 here.
Ready?
At 145 pounds, it is Blanco wearing the black trunks. De La Torre is in the white. Blanco open as the favorite, closes as the underdog.
De La Torre said the key to this fight is capitalizing on wild exchanges for Blanco, but he's hurt.
And there comes the stoppage. De La Torre still fighting, but Levine steps in. Maximo Blanco with a massive victory here tonight. Crowd doesn't like it.
I'll tell you what, I thought initially that was a very quick stoppage, but as you can see, just as De La Torre is talking to Eve Levine, he was on wobbly legs and almost fell over twice. Maybe De La Torre would have recovered. I thought initially that was way too quick a stoppage.
The High Performance Highlight is sponsored by NOS. Drink NOS with Complex 6 for enhanced mental focus and high performance energy.
Oh, huge punch eaten straight across the chin. A couple more follow-up, and Eves jumps in there right away, surprised. Normally you'll let a guy work, and you see De La Torre immediately looking for a takedown here and at least control position. So he definitely had his wits about him, even though his legs were a bit rubbery.
Well, at 16 seconds, unofficially, the 3rd fastest finish in UFC featherweight history. Here, we're going to run it back. Mike De La Torre disappointed with what many believed was a premature stoppage. We will digest this and see where it goes from here after this and get to the official decision. All right, so here is the fight.
Again, De La Torre immediately up, looking to work on a single leg. Normally, when you see a guy stop a fight based on 1 punch,
there was a little stumble there, even after Levine had stepped in.
Certainly normal, though. 30 seconds have to get clipped like that.
All right, let's get it to Bruce Buffer. He has the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Eve Levine has called a stop to this contest at 16 seconds of the very first round, declaring the winner by TKO, Maximo Maxi Blanco.
All right, Vegas, here with your winner, Maximo Blanco. Of course, if you can face the camera for me. Crowd doesn't like the referee stoppage, but congratulations. 3rd fastest finish in UFC featherweight history. Your thoughts on the fight as long as it lasts?
レフェリーのストップが速いってみんな文句言ってるけども、このストップってフェザー級で3番目に速いノックアウトなんだけども、どう思います？
退場はしたから30秒以内に終わらせると思って。
Well, I have to apologize first. I didn't make the weight, you know. But yes, I would like to try to finish the fight early. That's how I fought it.
Your thoughts on this fight as long as it did play out? I know we were expecting a wild one coming in.
Conan, I go for you.
Okay, what was the question again?
His thoughts on the fight. It seems like you're calling out Conor McGregor. Is that what you're doing here?
今回の試合とか見てどう思った自分の感じは？
いや、普通です。
It's just a regular normal for me.
All right, well, congratulations. 16-second victory here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner is Maximo Blanco.
little language barrier there, confusing post-fight interview, but let's take a look at the replay here. Clean right hand, comes just inside the left hook of De La Torre. He's obviously on wobbly legs, but has his wits about him. And look, this is tough. You're talking about split-second decisions by referees, and he obviously thought De La Torre was going to go back and hit his head up the mat. Instead, De La Torre was able to bounce back into it. Tough call. I think De La Torre could have been able to work there a little bit. You never know how it would have played out.
Seemed like he actually had recovered before he hit the canvas, but Yves Levine errs on the side of fighter safety. All right, coming up next, matchup of UFC strawweight hopefuls, the colorful Angela Magana looking to provide a rude welcome to UFC newcomer and former Invicta FC champion Michelle Watterson. And later,
Jake Ellenberg is my next opponent, and I'm just going to walk through him. Everything's in the right place. Coming here tonight to destroy Stephen Thompson. He won't be able to touch me out there, but I got the tools to beat him. I can beat Stephen Thompson tonight any way that I please. I think I can beat anybody in the world. There's a lot of ways that I could beat him, but for me, all I need is one. I don't think he's fought somebody quite like me. I'm going to use my karate movement, and that's something he's never experienced before. Karate, that's fine. He's going to regret stepping in the octagon with me. There's absolutely no way he's going to be able to get past me.
not far from the UFC headquarters, we are here in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada for the Fox Sports 1 Ultimate Fighter finale. It all comes down to tonight for American Top Team and the Black Zillions. Well, here's a look at what you can expect in July at UFCFightPass.com. Right now, Road to Japan is available. Also, the live and exclusive UFC Fight Pass prelims this Wednesday night for the fight card from San Diego, Frank Mir and Todd Duffy. And also the debut of Titan FC at UFCFightPass.com. Healy versus Ricci. That comes your way after the Scotland show next Saturday, July 18th. Here at UFCFightPass.com, who I gotta think you spend more hours on this website than any human being in the world.
No doubt about it. Fight Pass is my best friend. I love the fact that I can pull it up on my phone wherever I am. But I love that we're also showcasing younger fighters on their way to the UFC now, like Titan FC, like Invicta. I love the body of work that's now available on Fight Pass.
The UFC's digital streaming service is UFCFightPass.com. Well, both teams well represented in here tonight. One of ATT's finest, third-ranked welterweight contender Tyron Woodley in the building for the Ultimate Fighter finale. All right, moving on now with live action in the strawweight division. And welcome to the big show, Michelle Watterson. They call her the Karate Hottie. She debuts here against one of the toughest outs in the division, Your Majesty, Angela Magana. A popular MMA veteran who holds wins over Jessica Penne, Yasuko Tamada, and Lacey Shockman, former Invicta FC champion Michelle Watterson makes her highly anticipated UFC debut tonight against the Ultimate Fighter's Angela Magana. Fighting out of the Jackson Winklejohn camp in Albuquerque, New Mexico, Watterson is a dynamic striker, known for always putting on a show on Fight Night. That same desire to thrill the fans is a trait shared by Magana, who finishes in 8 of her 11 pro wins as proof of her attack-heavy approach to the fight game. Coming up next, the Karate Hottie, Michelle Watterson, squares off against Angela, Your Majesty Magana. Our tale of the tape is sponsored by Bud Light, the perfect beer for whatever happens. Angela Magana will be 32 on August 2nd. She takes on the 29-year-old mother, Michelle Watterson. Watterson is 2 inches taller, but it is Magana who owns a 3-inch advantage in reach. All right, now to get us started with the official introductions, here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC strawweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 12 wins, 4 losses. She stands 5 feet 3 inches tall, weighing in at 115 pounds. Fighting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, presenting the Invicta FC Atomweight Champion, the Karate Hottie, Michelle Watterson. And now introducing her opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 11 wins, 7 losses. She stands 5 feet 1 inch tall, weighing in at 115 and 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of San Diego, California, Angela, Your Majesty Magana. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Herb Dean.
Herb Dean, our referee for this one. Thank you very much, Christy Blair. We are ready to go. 3 rounds if needed in the UFC strawweight division, currently owned by the champion, Joanna Jędrzejczyk.
Ready to fight?
The karate hottie, Michelle Watterson, is in the white trunks. Angela Magana, representing Alliance MMA, is in the black.
Really anxious to see the changes in the style in the game of Magana. She said that Alliance has been a world of difference for her. Training in Thailand, she was actually sparring with students instead of professional fighters. At Alliance, she said she was amazed at all the high-level coaches and attention she got, not only from the coaches but the fighters, to really evolve her game. And already we see her far more aggressive. And she told me she wants to make this fight ugly. She doesn't think that Michelle Watterson likes to get hit, and if she can make it ugly, she'll take her out of this game, out of her game, and win this fight.
Both of these women come in with finishing rates north of 80%.
And this is smart right now for Magana. You know, Michelle Watterson does excellent in space. When you allow her to rip off her combinations, use her kicks, she's very fast, powerful kicks. That's where she's most dangerous. Magana's got double underhooks. Doesn't really look to be trying to finish a takedown. Just trying to grind on Michelle a little bit here and land some clinch strikes.
Unable to quite get that knee up to the target.
Watterson's got an underhook now. She needs to dig that deeper and circle away from the fence. We'll see if she can do it. Nice knee to the body there by Watterson. And there it is. Oh, use that underhook, got her hip into it, and tosses Magana to the ground. Great technique, and there you get a look at the explosiveness of Michelle Watterson.
Well, you didn't expect her to be fazed by this UFC atmosphere, given her experience on paper. As we mentioned, former Invicta FC atomweight champion.
And really thought she could dominate in every phase of the game in this fight against Magana. Nice active guard there from Magana. Threatens the submission. Was able to create some space, but was able to start wall walking her, get away from and get back up to her feet. She's got to be careful here. She's keeping her head awfully low. Magana's not being forced to control her posture. In fact, Watterson's doing it for her, staying a little bit too low inside the guard of Angela Magana. Magana looking for that armbar. Good defense. You can see right now, Michelle Watterson clenched up her arms. She's got to slowly shake her left elbow clear of the hips of Angela Magana to escape this. She's going to try and keep a lot of weight on top of Magana, who's now extending her in good position here. Nice step over from Watterson. That could possibly alleviate some pressure. Magana's getting her arm extended here. Watterson's in a bit of trouble.
Magana trying to take that arm.
Watterson showing some flexibility here. There's a lot of pressure on that arm.
5 career wins by armbar for Angela Magana. It is her go-to submission.
Boy, a lot of fighters stretch their elbows so that they can endure this submission specifically. We're seeing some grit here from Michelle Watterson. She can try and use that right foot. She's got one hand off to alleviate some pressure, but Magana returns that left hand now to the submission lock. We can't see where the elbow of Michelle Watterson is. If she's been able to, in this scramble, turn her elbow a little bit, she could have alleviated a lot of the pressure of the armbar.
At least to this point, Magana not bailing on the submission attempt. Watterson continues to work.
And she escaped. Excellent poise by Michelle Watterson. She never panicked there, took her time, but great technique from Michelle Magana, who is getting controlled on top to work that submission.
Big knee greets Magana on the way up.
Well timed, too. She waited just as Magana lifted her hand off the canvas to make sure it was legal. Surprised to see Michelle wanting to engage in the clinch, but she's going to go for the hip throw again, and she gets it. Magana unable to reverse.
Easily transition there. Yeah, she mounts Magana. Just over 30 seconds to go in round 1. Big right hand lands for Watterson.
Magana really working like controlling the posture. She's going to try and adjust her feet to make sure she can kick off the fence in reverse position here. And there she does. Nice work. And it's Michelle Watterson goes for an armbar to side.
Gotta be careful here. Watterson also with 5 wins by armbar.
She's very slick on the ground. Looks like Magana was able to slide her elbow out of the hips. Nice job by Angela Magana to defend.
What a round turned in by Magana, and Watterson will right back.
Sit down. Sit back and breathe.
There you go. You're doing fine. Put it on the cage again. You take the water. Breathe. Breathe. Deep breaths in. Deep breaths in. Oh, cool off a little bit. Deep breath in. There we go. Take another sip and spit it out for me. You're doing fine. Same thing. Put it against the cage and stay tight. You're doing awesome. You're fine. She don't like it there. Okay?
So don't let her hips go out to the side. You don't have that position. That's what she's getting the
Breathe.
Beautiful she is.
Yes, sir.
Pick her apart. Keep the range. Pick her apart. Until you decide to get underneath her and drive her back. All right?
When you do take her down, just keep her off the cage, okay? All right. Hey, deep breaths, control. Let's go. Have fun.
The Ultimate Fighter finale continues live from Las Vegas, ready for round two. Michelle Waterson, all smiles on the stool in between rounds.
Well, certainly, look, she's a vet. She's been there, done that, and they want her to keep more space and do exactly what she did, but open up a beautiful right hand there from Waterson. Corner Magana wants her to pressure Waterson back up against the fence and get her in the clinch. And these are the kinds of combinations that the Karate Hottie's capable of when you give her space. Outstanding, and I love the fact she drops her and doesn't go back on the ground. She's having so much success on her feet right now.
And right now, Waterson looking the part of minus 800 favorite.
Very nice slip by Michelle Waterson. Slips to the left, comes back with the overhand right, lands to the cheek of Angela Magana. Magana's, she's being a little bit predictable here. You can tell she wants to clinch and close distance. She's just kind of walking forward. She's got to execute some fakes and feints and use a combination to disguise the clinch and then get inside with Waterson.
Nice stick and move there by Waterson. You know, we mentioned Magana appeared to be in great shape coming in, but she appears to be exhausted after that first round.
And Waterson's landing some nice kicks to the body. And we saw it last night in the main event with Conor McGregor. Those kicks to the body take a tremendous toll on your opponent's cardio. Michelle Waterson's landed several.
Total strikes, Magana hanging around, but Waterson's have had more impact.
Here's a big opportunity for Magana. Does a nice job catching that kick. See what kind of top game Angela Magana has. She's got to be careful, though. It's just like she was able to threaten the submissions off her back. Michelle Waterson, very flexible, and she goes for the armbar now. Don't have the angle to see if she got it. It looks like Magana's going to work her way out, but she's stretched out now.
Defensively, but she relinquishes them out now.
And very smart by Waterson, abandon it, but maintain top position. In full mount now. Magana's controlling posture, but she's got to get those hands off the shoulders, put them on the hips of Michelle Waterson, at least get the half guard, and try to explode in reverse.
Waterson staying heavy here.
Posture gave a heavy blow, and now you see Magana abandon it and move to her hips. She's got to be careful there. She's giving an armbar to Michelle Waterson from this position, who's looking to trap that right arm of Angela Magana. Magana senses it, goes back flat on her back.
Magana tries to buck Waterson off. Not happening.
Magana's just trying to win the whole positional battle at one time. He's trying to roll. It's not fundamentally sound. She's got to fight the hips, get the half guard, then get the full guard. And right now, she's giving Michelle Waterson lots of openings here from top position in the mount.
Under 2 minutes now to go in round two.
You hear Michelle Waterson listen to everything Greg Jackson tells her, bring your legs up. Nice job there from Magana to return a half guard. She's got a right underhook. She could use that to elevate and at least scoot her hips to the fence and walk up. We'll see if she does it. We're getting a good look at the well-rounded game of Michelle Waterson and why so many people were hyped to get her in this strawweight division in the UFC.
Pretty efficient with the ground and pound. Looks like maybe she opened up a cut on the bridge of the nose of Magana.
Nice work there from Magana. Come out the back door, looking for a heel hook here.
More than a round's worth of top position time for Michelle Waterson.
And Magana's never going to be able to execute this heel hook. You can see her right foot has got to be inside the left thigh of Michelle Waterson to really get enough leverage on this. Now she may have a chance. She could possibly use this to get to a calf slicer and then take the back, or at least get to her feet. But nice scramble by Michelle Waterson. So many times fights like this come down to those scrambles and who wants it more. And right there, you saw Waterson push herself. and now she's back in the mount.
Very instinctive with her transitions from side control back into the mount. Less than 30 seconds now to go in round 2.
And that's just demoralizing. Magana worked very hard to get to that leg lock and get to a scramble and get back to her feet. Now she's back in the mount where she started.
So Watterson's submission defense was tested early in this fight. She has dominated since.
Up, Angela, up. Come on. Come on in. Come on in. Let me get the back in. Yep, have a seat. Sit back. Breathe. 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 Your nose out your mouth. I need you circling out a lot more, okay? Circle towards the lead leg and push her against the fence.
You or her now, right? We're down 2.
Street fight now. Got it? It's that time.
I need you to
It's all out.
Don't overextend. We're going to hurt her.
All
Go
out.
for that uppercut. Look for the hook.
9-3.
Slow down, slow down, slow down.
Take 2 big ones from me.
Big ones. There you go. Hey, when you get her down, same deal. Just be careful. He's gonna come desperate. Be ready.
Take him out, please. You ready to fight?
Third and final round here, Angela Magana and Michelle Watterson. Watterson moving up to 115 pounds and rising to the occasion of this, her UFC debut.
Corner Magana wanted her to circle towards the lead leg of Michelle Watterson, close the distance clinch, and just make this thing a street fight. Solid advice from them, because when she's giving Watterson space, she's getting chewed up, and on the ground, she's getting dominated right now.
Look at that short left by Watterson.
Oh, beautiful. Front leg high kick came over the hands of Magana, connected. You're seeing a mouse now growing on the right side of Angela Magana's face.
And that one really stunned Magana. I'm not sure she's recovered here, Brian.
No, she's smartly trying to delay here and create some space. You can see her legs are very stiff. And Watterson told me yesterday she felt that Magana stood up very straight and tall and leaves a lot of openings. And Watterson really capitalizing here. Nice front kick. Nice leg kick there from Magana. She should do more of that.
Under 4 minutes to go in the fight. Watterson now with the back. And floors Magana with the third.
And that's the area of her game that she's felt has grown the most, her wrestling. She's known for her striking. She's underrated in her submissions, but that's an area that people didn't expect her to be strong in, and she continues to work that every single day in the gym, and you're seeing it now.
Well, you got to admire Magana's toughness. But Michelle Watterson dominating this fight now, 3 for 3 in terms of her takedowns.
Yeah, no doubt. Magana's had a ton of adversity to overcome in her personal life, and when you talk to her about her past, it's been a very uphill battle for her. And right now, she's got to try and scramble out of this distance. She's got to kick her leg straight to fight off those hooks on the inside of her thighs. And from there, she can start to roll, get to her back, and escape this position. But what she can't do is allow Michelle Watterson to keep her flattened out here.
Michelle, fight back.
Herb Dean caught up the wrong name. Even Herb Dean gets confused from time to time.
The referee looking for Magana to fight back as Watterson continues to be efficient with her ground strikes.
And you see how Magana's feet are just floating up in the air. That's a huge problem for her, and that's going to allow Watterson to maintain the position and just suck the life out of her. She's got to kick those legs straight, and that's it.
The tap. Michelle Watterson makes good on the UFC debut. Softened her up with strikes, and then went the submission route. The Karate Hottie living up to the hype in her promotional debut.
Fantastic, well-rounded display of skills. You know, very close round one that was back and forth, but from that point on, the Karate Hottie dominated.
And a hug for Joe Silva. The High Performance Highlight is sponsored by NOS. Drink NOS with Complex 6 for enhanced mental focus and high performance energy.
There's plenty of highlights to pick from here, but again, she kept her flattened out, kept those hooks in position, and eventually this was going to come, sinks it underneath the chin, finishes the fight, and gets her 8th submission victory in her professional career. Michelle Watterson with an outstanding debut.
And dealt with some early adversity in her own right with the armbar attempt from Angela Magana, but the Karate Hottie firmly on the UFC map after that performance tonight. We'll get to the official decision after this as the Ultimate Fighter finale continues. We are live in Vegas. Stay with us. Fighters gather in Cincinnati for the Midsummer Classic with home field advantage in the World Series on the line. Our coverage of the 2015 Major League Baseball All-Star Game presented by T-Mobile begins Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Here's Bruce Buffer with the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Herb Dean has called a stop to this contest at 2 minutes, 38 seconds of the third round, declaring the winner by tap out due to a rear naked choke, the Karate Hottie, Michelle Waterson.
All right, I'm here with the Karate Hottie, Michelle Waterson, brought to tears after winning your UFC debut. Welcome. It's been a long time coming. Congratulations on the win here tonight.
Thank you so much. Martial arts isn't just a sport, it's a way of life. And if you do it right, you can conquer your biggest fears. Thank you, Dana and UFC and Lorenzo for offering me this opportunity.
You continue to set a most fine example for your daughter. I want to talk about the early portions of the fight. Angela was working on an armbar. You fought off that pretty well and dominated the fight from there.
Yeah, she locked that armbar on, and I know she was pretty adamant about finishing it, but this is my UFC debut. I'm not going out like that.
The fight ends with your third career win by rear naked choke. Could you talk us through the finishing sequence? Softened her with strikes, and then we're able to get your arm underneath that chin.
You know, this camp, we just been working a lot on wrestling, a lot on changing my mentality from being a defensive grappler to being more of an offensive, aggressive grappler and wrestler. And so I was able to put those changes to use tonight.
Did it feel any different being in here tonight, the bright lights of the UFC octagon? Because if there were any jitters, you certainly didn't show them when the fight was going on.
No, this is home.
And you look like it. Well, we'll welcome you back to your home sometime soon. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, the Karate Hottie, Michelle Waterson.
Let's take a look at some of the fight stats from that outstanding and fun fight. Great performance by Michelle Waterson. 4 submission attempts, 3 takedowns. You know, we talked about it, showed how diverse a fighter she's become. Really entered the UFC at the perfect point of her career when she's most ready to take on the competition in the strawweight division.
Totally unfazed on the big show tonight. Michelle Waterson getting it done in the UFC debut. Anthony Johnson, light heavyweight contender, there with the Blackzilians owner, Glenn Robinson. Of course, the Blackzilians well represented tonight, as is American Top Team. Dustin Poirier is there, alongside Team Alpha Male strawweight contender Paige Van Zandt and Cody Garbrandt after a big win last night at the monster that was UFC 189. All right, still to come, this fight jumping off the card should be outstanding. Miami's perennial contender, Jorge Masvidal, taking on the all-around threat, Cesar Mutanchi Vejeda, who will be making his welterweight debut. But straight ahead, we will look ahead to this Wednesday's UFC Fight Night in San Diego and that main event, as former two-time UFC heavyweight champion Frank Mir tries to keep it going against the power game of American Top Team's Todd Duffy. We discuss Mir and Duffy after this, as the Ultimate Fighter finale continues live. All right, back live in Las Vegas, and when we are done here, that octagon will be on its way to San Diego, where we present an explosive heavyweight main event featuring a rejuvenated former champion.
Frank Mir looked absolutely spectacular in knocking out Bigfoot Silva.
Oh! Down goes Bigfoot!
Frank took a long time off, and boy did it pay off.
Wow! What a shot there from Frank Mir. What a finish!
I felt great and was able to knock out Bigfoot, who was ranked number 8 in the world at the time, and I knocked him out in a little under 2 minutes.
To see Frank Mir compete with the enthusiasm that he showed in the Bigfoot Silva fight is inspiring, and it makes me excited about seeing him fight again.
I showcased the one attribute that I think everybody can take from my career, is that I constantly am trying to move forward.
Frank Mir is one of the very best submission artists to ever compete in the UFC's heavyweight division. You're talking about a guy who has broken the bones of 2 former champions in submitting them.
I think Frank Mir is one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. He's been a champion, he's been a great fighter. It's my time now.
Todd Duffy had to overcome a serious illness and a set of injuries that had really had him on the verge of retiring.
2 full years is the typical recovery. I got lucky, it took me about a year, and I immediately got back in the gym and started training.
He got healthy again and put on a show against Anthony Hamilton. The fighter that we saw in that fight is a real threat to anyone in the UFC's heavyweight division.
When I first got to the UFC, I just wanted to be one of the best. Now I truly believe that I can be a UFC heavyweight champion.
Todd Duffy's a really good athlete. He's very explosive, very powerful. He's going to be looking to finish me. And when he realizes that this isn't going to be an easy night, he's going to look for the opportunity for me to have a submission so he can go home early.
I guess he's kind of upset that I called him out.
He was disrespectful. And that actually has helped drive my training to the point where it is now, to where I'm looking to go ahead and make sure that this fight is one of his last in the UFC.
I'm sorry, dude. You know, like, it's just business. This is my everything right now. This is what's going to define my career at this moment. He's in my way. I will be the UFC champion.
So big opportunity for Todd Duffy against number 10 Frank Mir. We're back in the Wednesday night slot in a few days. UFC Fight Night, Mir versus Duffy. Strong main event, big co-main event. In the lightweight division, Tony Ferguson chasing his biggest win to date against the former Strikeforce champion Josh Thompson. Also Holly Holm, one of your former training partners, taking on Marion Renault.
Yeah, super excited for this heavyweight bout. You know, Todd Duffy's a guy I trained with for years and has always known he could be a top 10 talent, but he's taken on, as he stated, one of the greatest heavyweights in history. Duffy's explosive, powerful, he's good everywhere, but every time people underestimate Frank Mir, he either puts their lights out or he takes their arm home with him. Todd Duffy has got to be very careful in this fight, not to be over-aggressive, or he could be the next highlight on tape for Frank Mir, where he's breaking his arm. Be careful what you ask for.
We go inside the numbers on Frank Mir. You know, going into the Bigfoot fight, we build him as the most decorated heavyweight in UFC history, and those numbers outline why.
Oh, certainly. He is a scary, scary dude. He's got some of the best highlights in the heavyweight division history, but he's taken on a guy in Todd Duffy who's long since been a guy people expected to be a contender in this division. Can Todd Duffy live up to those expectations?
And on the other side, of course, you have Todd Duffy, wise to call out Frank Mir. Most remember him for that knockout of Tim Hague back at UFC 102 in Portland.
Hey, you can't hate on guys for calling people out. That's how you get fights. Generate hype, call out the guys you want, because you know why he's calling Frank Mir? He wants what he's got, and Todd Duffy's going after it.
All right, so this Wednesday night, it will be Frank Mir versus Todd Duffy in the main event from San Diego, California. A lot of depth to the fight card. You can catch all of it right here on Fox Sports 1. South Florida bragging rights and so much more on the line here as Blackzilians rep Cesar Fajeda takes on American top team staple Jorge Masvidal. While the lightweight division has been Jorge Masvidal's home for years and middleweight has been where Cesar Fajeda has wreaked havoc, tonight both warriors will test the waters in the welterweight division. Each man hoping to send a message to the rest of the weight class that there's a new contender in town. Masvidal has never backed down from a challenge over his 12-year career, and despite a recent 3-1 run as lightweight contender, he feels he will be even more effective at 170 pounds. The same goes for former Ultimate Fighter Brazil winner Fajeda, who expects that his one-strike stopping power will be even more potent down a division. We will find out here soon enough. Coming up next, Cesar Mutachi Fajeda meets Jorge Gamebred Masvidal. The tape is sponsored by Bud Light, the perfect beer for whatever happens. Jorge Masvidal, 30 years old, as is his Brazilian counterpart, Cesar Mutachi Fajeda. Fajeda is 2 inches taller. He has a 4.5-inch reach advantage. All right, now to get us started with the official introductions, here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 9 wins, 4 losses. He stands 6 feet 1 inch tall, weighing in at 171 pounds. Fighting out of Boca Raton, Florida, by way of Sao Paulo, Brazil, presenting the Ultimate Fighter Brazil 1 winner, Cesar Mutachi Fajeda. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a boxer holding a professional record, 28 wins, 9 losses. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 170 pounds. Fighting out of Miami, Florida, Jorge Gamebred Masvidal. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, John McCarthy.
John McCarthy, our referee. Luciana Andrade with us here for the Ultimate Fighter finale. And we are ready to go. Jorge Masvidal moving up to 170 pounds. Cesar Mutachi Fajeda is moving down. It is Gamebred in the black trunks. The southpaw Mutachi in the white.
Mutachi Fajeda is absolutely massive for this weight class, and he was very comfortable yesterday making that weight. When I spoke to him this week, confident, but also humble. You know, he says, look, I got to go out there and do my best, but I want to mix it up. Definitely doesn't want to get into a brawl with Masvidal. Nice body kick there. For Masvidal to move up to 170, I think for his coaches, it's more to them about volume. They feel like he's lost some fights where he sat back on leads and maybe coasted a little bit. They think maybe move up to 170 because the cut was so hard down to 155. He'll have the energy for more volume, more output.
Mutanchi able to land to the body there. Masvidal sort of has one of these criminally underrated careers, still just 30 years old, 28 pro wins, has had success down at 155, here at 170 outside the UFC.
And this guy is just a born fighter. So calm inside the octagon. Can really diagnose his opponent's style quickly and start picking him apart. Beautiful level change there from Mutanchi. And here's where we'll see the size advantage possibly for Caesar.
And we thought maybe coming in, Fajeda would try to grapple. The early takedown materializes for him.
And that was a big part of his game. You know, he didn't want to be known as just a striker and a brawler. He'd been caught a few times. He wanted to showcase all of his skills. He's a black belt, very strong guy, capable of doing everything, and now starting to use all of his skills. Masvidal's no slouch on the ground. Really good at creating a little bit of space. He'll scoot his hips to the fence and he can wall walk back up. Right now, though, Caesar being smart. He's keeping tremendous shoulder pressure on Masvidal. Nice scramble there from Jorge, whose wrestling has really become a strong point. The coaches at ATT say he's got as good a wrestling, they believe, as some of the Division I wrestlers they have inside the gym.
And it seems like most of American Top Team right over my left shoulder, urging Gamebred on.
And this is where Mutanchi's got to be careful. He's got to try to avoid these exchanges inside the phone booth. No brawls. Keep his space and distance, use his reach, and get in and out. Masvidal is fairly tricky at integrating his strikes into wrestling exchanges. If he fails a takedown, he'll clip you on the way out. He's going in for a takedown, he'll clip you on the way in.
Mutanchi goes upstairs, partially lands, but Masvidal able to get that right hand up.
Ask Caesar if he felt his power came down to the 170 pounds. That's always one of the things that can go if you drop a weight class. He feels that it did, but really felt like he gained a lot of speed moving down.
You do wonder where his confidence is relative to absorbing shots. No denying his offensive output and ability. Under 2 minutes now to go in round one. After this fight, we will be joined by UFC President Dana White to announce the coaches for Season 22 of The Ultimate Fighter. You don't want to miss that.
It's in these situations where you can see the size and the strength advantage that Mutanchi brings down to this weight division. He did a nice job controlling Masvidal against the fence and landed a nice elbow.
To the surprise of some, Gamebred a more than 2-1 favorite tonight against the bigger man Mutanchi.
Masvidal is just so smooth in his boxing, such a well-rounded mixed martial artist, and has fought so many top-level guys.
Not a bad shot there by Fajeda, but Masvidal able to thwart it with relative ease.
Well, and he's doing a nice job of either being all the way out at the range. He wants to strike him, or being all the way in the clinch, but he eats a huge elbow there. And that's going to be it.
Jorge Masvidal!
Wow.
Gamebred gets the finish he has so long sought and makes good on his UFC welterweight debut. A standing ovation from his teammates and coaches at American Top Team. The High Performance Highlight is sponsored by NOS. Drink NOS with Complex 6 for enhanced mental focus and high performance energy.
Just we were talking about the control of Fajeda. Jorge Masvidal shows a veteran move here, creates the distance, lands an elbow, follows up, and immediately gives Mutanchi no time to recover to get the finish. That's a man who feels like he's been burned on some decisions before. He was not allowing this to go to the scorecards. Nice right hand to the temple, followed up these big rights and lefts on top. Big win for Jorge Masvidal.
So when it's official, Masvidal will have won 7 of his last 9, and once again, the chin of Fajeda unable to hold up. Masvidal looks outstanding at 170 pounds here tonight. All right, coming up next, we'll get to the official decision. We are off and running with the Ultimate Fighter finale. Stay with us. Back here in Las Vegas, Nevada, not quite as hot as you might expect here in July. Nobody on this UFC team is complaining. All right, let's get it to Bruce Buffer. He has the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee John McCarthy is going to stop to this contest at 4 minutes, 22 seconds of the very first round. Declaring the winner by knockout, Jorge Gamebred Masvidal.
But I'm here with your winner, Jorge Gamebred Masvidal. No judges needed for this one. Welcome to the welterweight division. You put on a show here tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you. Feels great to get a knockout. And first and foremost, want to give praise to God.
So it seemed like Mutanchi wanted to grapple with you here tonight. The takedown defense held up, and you had the advantage on the feet. You hit him with the elbow, and the knockout materialized from there. Your thoughts on the fight as long as it lasted?
I knew it was a matter of time. At this weight, I feel like I got an incredible gas tank. So I just want to get the toughest fights out. Matt Brown just won this weekend. Matt Brown, you want to get your ass kicked? Holla at me, man.
There you have it. Walk off for Gamebred. Jorge Masvidal, ladies and gentlemen.
Now, Jorge Masvidal's felt like a lot of top-ranked guys have dodged him for a long time, but he hasn't been able to get those matchups. Best way to do it is call a guy out, and here you can see him creates a little bit of space, hammers Mutanchi with the left elbow, followed by a right punch to the temple, and no space, no delay. Very smart by Masvidal. Gets the finish and calls out the immortal Matt Brown. We'll see what happens.
So a man who knows what he wants to do. Big finish for Jorge Masvidal here tonight. And there's one of his teammates, the UFC welterweight champion, Robbie Lawler. As far as title defenses go, doesn't get a whole lot better than that. Ruthless Robbie Lawler right back inside the Garden Arena here tonight after turning in that instant classic with Rory McDonald less than 24 hours ago. All right, coming up next, two guys looking to make an imprint in their UFC debuts. There's the American top team rep, Michael Graves, undefeated as a pro. We will see how he fares against the more experienced rep from the Brazilians, Vicente Luque. His team believes he could be a future star. Also ahead, a closer look at crowd pleaser Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, born into a family of fighters.
My sister started competing kickboxing, and my dad fought back in the 70s and 80s, and they were kind of my inspiration to actually start competing. I had my first fight when I was 15, and been at it ever since. A few years back, I ended up tearing every ligament in my left leg. After the surgery, I was training with a guy named George St. Pierre, and I had fought kickboxing in Montreal and was fighting one of his guys out at a gym. After the fight for us, a hobby, he came up to me and was like, "Hey man, we would love to have you for a training partner for George." I was training with all these MMA guys, and I was like, you know what, why not switch to MMA?
Stephen Wonderboy Thompson set to make his UFC debut. All right, just you couldn't have done better.
If it wasn't for George and for Oz and those guys, you know, I wouldn't be where I am right now.
All right, now look at the upcoming schedule. We are loaded throughout July. This Wednesday in San Diego, UFC Fight Night, Mir versus Duffy. Then a quick turnaround, Saturday, July 18th. The Octagon hit Scotland for the first time. Michael Bisping, Talis Latis in the main event. And then 1 week later, we are back on Big Fox, the rematch they've been talking about for some time. The UFC Bantamweight champion, TJ Dillashaw, in his rematch with former champion, Renan Barao. All right, now we are privileged to be joined by UFC President Dana White with some news on Season 22 of The Ultimate Fighter coming up.
Well, we're going to do lightweights. There'll be 16 lightweights. There will be 8 from the United States and 8 from Europe. And the coach of the United States will be Uriah Faber, and the coach of Europe will be Conor McGregor.
Conor McGregor, after the win last night, coaching on The Ultimate Fighter. Of course, Uriah Faber coaching again. He coached opposite Dominic Cruz on The Ultimate Fighter Live. I know Joe Silva really likes the European talent he's assembled, but man, I mean, Conor McGregor has just been a ratings machine, and now we're going to see him for 11 weeks on The Ultimate Fighter.
Kid's become a huge superstar. Now he's the interim world champion. And just to let everybody know, because everybody's probably wondering right now, he will not fight Uriah Faber. These guys are just coaching, mentoring these young fighters, and obviously, the best decision was to get Conor McGregor for the Europeans. And Faber's such, a great coach, has an amazing team, and has a lot to offer the U.S. team.
And he was very successful, obviously, as a coach the first time around on The Ultimate Fighter Live. All right, we appreciate the breaking news. We'll let you get back to the fights. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
So it'll be Conor McGregor and Uriah Faber coaching Season 22 of The Ultimate Fighter. It debuts September 9th on Fox Sports 1, a 2-hour season premiere. It'll be the Americans versus the Europeans. Thank you, Team McGregor versus Team Faber. How about that?
Well, I'll tell you what, you can't ask for a better mentor and coach than Uriah Faber in this sport, but Conor McGregor's called everything he's done in his career. I don't think he's actually called that out of left field, a great surprise for everybody. The kid has been nothing but pure entertainment. Now we get to see how he does in developing younger fighters in Europe. I'm excited.
So there you have it, season 22 of The Ultimate Fighter. Conor McGregor and Uriah Faber go head-to-head. All right, now we are ready to shine the spotlight on some of the fighters from this past season of The Ultimate Fighter.
This fight's everything for me right now. I'm a natural fighter, you know. I didn't choose this. I am this. It's in my blood. I know what I'm capable of. I know how far I can go in the sport. You know, I'm gonna be a champ one day, and I know it. He's definitely got your ears, babe. Look at his ears in this last picture. My fiance was pregnant when I was in the house, and my son, Mason Taylor, was born April 21st. He's so cute. His hands look massive in this last picture. He's definitely got my hands. It just made me reevaluate myself in my life. It, you know, it changes my priorities. It gives me a different reason to do what I'm doing.
Fights don't get any bigger than this for a guy like Mike Graves. He's got everything in the world to fight for. He's got a new baby. He's got a new life ahead of him. I just don't see him taking the easy way out.
Good, really good.
You know, Vincente's a young guy like me. He can take shots, he can give them, but I'm trying to bring the craziness in there. You know, whatever I want to do, I'm going to do it. I'm going to bring a high pace. I'm an MMA fighter. I know how to do everything, and I know how to do everything well.
They saw that Mike Graves. You know, there's so much more to you that they haven't seen. The new, improved Vicente, we know what he's got to offer. I don't think they have a clue what you have to offer.
At the end of that fight, I'm going to wave ATT's flag high, knowing that I won. I mean, I'm going to dominate this fight. I know I am.
Well, what has always motivated me since the start is wanting to be the best fighter in the world. I mean, I don't have words to describe what I felt when I knew that Dana picked me for this fight, but I'm very happy and very pumped up for it. I grew up in Brazil, and I miss home a lot. It's really nice having my girlfriend here, because it's hard for you to be away from family and have nobody else from home with you. So it's much easier for me now. She's what pushes me forward and drives me to fight. I know in my heart that I fight the way people want to see fighters fight.
We nicknamed Vicente the silent assassin because he looks at you, he smiles, he's very nice, and then when that cage door closes, he's ready to kill you.
And when I'm in the fight, I'm there to hurt the guy and to knock him out and finish him in any way I want to do. I think Michael Graves is definitely going to come to wanting to strike. And that's what I like doing. I just think that I'm better in every area than he is. I plan on going and standing up and striking and put on an exciting fight.
All right, coming up next, Michael Graves has heart for days. He came up big for American Top Team on the show tonight. He looks to make an imprint in his UFC debut against that man, the super talented Blackzilians product, Vicente Luque. It'll be Luque and Graves when we return to Las Vegas. Our tale of the tape is sponsored by Bud Light, the perfect beer for whatever happens. Two young Americans here. Michael Graves is 24. Vicente Luque, 23. Luque 1 inch taller. He will try to exploit what is a 4.5-inch reach advantage. All right, now to get us started, here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 7 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 171 pounds. Fighting out of Brasilia, Brazil, Vicente, the silent assassin, Luque. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist, undefeated professional record, 4 wins, no losses. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighing in at 170.5 pounds. Fighting out of Coconut Creek, Florida, Michael Graves. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Yves Levine.
Yves Levine back in there for this one. Thank you very much, Chrissy Blair. We are ready to go. American Top Team make a lot of noise in here tonight. The Black Zillions have a lot of team members here as well, but there's a lot of ATT volume in this building tonight. It is Michael Graves wearing the red trunks, Vicente Luque in the black.
Beautiful lateral drop from Michael Graves in half guard now. And, you know, one of the most interesting things Michael Graves told me last week was that he never trains one art at a time. Every time he trains, he integrates everything, and you saw it in that exchange. He gets into a little bit of a brawl, ties up, and immediately goes to a takedown. Nicely done there for Michael Graves.
And he is doing good work here. Michael Graves, slight underdog tonight against Vicente Luque.
Luque did a great job there, utilizing his right underhook. He's able to wall walk back to his feet. And he's keeping his left hand down, so he isn't taking any knees to the face right now. Eventually, he's going to have to work on the wrists of Michael Graves, break that grip, and then roll his head out. Oh, but he eats an elbow while doing it. Nicely done again. Shows the integration, the skills that Michael Graves talked about.
Already, you're seeing the vast improvements Michael Graves has made since we saw him on The Ultimate Fighter. And you also see the poise under pressure of Vicente Luque.
Yeah, Luque's coaches will tell you, this is a guy who he has so much poise that he shouldn't have as a young fighter. He really sees things very calm in his fights. And I'll tell you, he fought some tough guys in the beginning of his career. You know, this is not a guy who looked to manage his career and build himself by fighting what we call cans or easy wins. Right. He fought some stiff competition, owns a win over Thiago Santos, surging welterweight in the UFC Cup.
That was back in 2012 by knockout.
Let's go, guys, work!
Luque's mom, a black belt in karate. He started training in martial arts at 3 years old, Muay Thai at 15, and that's essentially when he knew he wanted to become a fighter. Here he is 8 years later in the UFC.
Nice work there from Luque. He's able to dig and get double underhooks, but immediately Michael Graves escapes. Luque wanted this to be a striking war. He's getting his wish now. Nice combinations there from Luque. He's very successful. You stand in front of him, he'll rip those combos, but I love the change of levels there from Michael Graves. Gets hit with a combo just as Luque was having some success and getting comfortable. Graves changed it up on him and took him down.
You know, Graves at times on the show fought a little bit passively, nothing at all passive about his approach through the first half of round one.
Yeah, a lot of times when I talk to guys who lead the fight, they're always confident, they're always going to be aggressive. You know, Michael Graves talked about this, and you know, I'm just so reinvigorated for my career. I've got a new baby, and I thought I was going to leave MMA. I wanted to go get a real job, make steady money, but then this opportunity came, and man, I am just training so much harder. Right now, first 3 minutes of this fight, he's showing.
Under 2 minutes to go in the round. Luque trying to find a window in which to get back to his feet. Almost there.
He's got the underhook, and he was able to capitalize before and get back to his feet, but Graves countered it. Grabbed the front headlock and stopped the momentum of Luque coming back up. Now Luque's going to play that game, and it's going to be hard for Graves to see if his hand is up or not so he can execute any knees.
John Anik Grindstand here in Las Vegas. Good to have you with us for the Fox Sports 1 Ultimate Fighter finale. Two guys featured on the show here, Michael Graves in the red, Vicente Luque in the black.
Every time these guys have broken the clinch, Graves is looking for an elbow. There he throws a nice right hand, though. Hard leg kick there from Graves. Far more aggressive than the Michael Graves we saw on the show.
And I think you're seeing signs here of why American Top Team is so high on this 24-year-old.
Well-timed knee there from Luque. And again, you stand in front of this kid, this is what he's going to do. Very accurate, good timing, and excellent combinations. Looks for another knee there, but Graves able to grab him and finish that double leg.
Nice deceptive entry there by Graves. The takedown starting to pile up for him here in round one. Now less than 30 seconds to go.
Michael Graves' timing and everything is on point tonight so far in round one.
And he has taken away some of that patented aggressiveness of Vicente Luque. Strong start for the Ohio native Michael Graves.
Engage.
Tamo bem. Você
doing
tem que
well.
botar mais forte as porradas.
You gotta hit him
Atento,
harder.
entendeu? Se ele se fechar, joelhada.
If he closes
Entendeu?
up, throw the
Bater mais
knee.
forte.
Hit him
Então,
harder.
aí.
You gotta lower your stance. You're standing too tall. You know, like I said, you gotta fake him. Let him think. Fake. Don't just strike, you know. Lower your level and open up with your hands more.
Okay.
You know, more power in your punches. You're just staggering. Just let him think. You know, don't stand too tall. It's easy
Yeah.
for the takedowns. Lower your level.
using elbows from there.
Okay.
And if you feel,
Yeah. Time, grab him. Take your time. Win him around.
breathe one more time for me. Right. Sure. Come on. Grab the shoot.
A lot of star power in the building tonight. There is the former UFC light heavyweight champion, Rashad Evans. He'll take on Ryan Bader at UFC 192. Rashad encouraging his teammate Vicente Luque here tonight. Graves, nice stick and move there with the left hand.
Luque lowered his stance, let's see his corner, lowered his stance, makes adjustments, but Graves still gets an easy takedown, but he's in a tough position. And just a beautiful scramble there from Michael Graves to maintain top position as Luque works to get back in a half guard. And again, Luque does a great job when he gets that underhook. He uses it to create space to get back to his feet.
Luque, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt.
Oh.
I know. Look, be careful with that. You didn't do damage, but next time I will deduct point.
Sorry.
Understood?
My bad.
Okay.
Warning there from Evil
He
Bean.
did take a fall. He didn't do too much damage, okay? He really thought because you lifted up and put it down, I will not deduct the point. However, the next time I will.
It's very
Okay, so
difficult
be
for
careful
Michael
with
Graves
that.
to see that hand
Okay,
down
be
when his
careful.
head's over the back.
Time in.
You know, and when it does come to the rules, it's not just about intent, which was accidental, but effect. And that's why I heard Evil Bean talking about the fact that it didn't have much of an impact, and therefore, just a warning.
Yeah, I agree with that call. Beautiful combination there from Luque. He's lowered his stance, able to defend a takedown there, but he can't accept Graves pushing him against the fence, and he does a nice job reversing position there. Starting to see a bit of a sense of urgency here from Luque. I agree with the call from Evil Bean. That should not be a point deduction. I just hate that rule in general. What is the difference if the guy's hands on the ground or not?
Well, hard to get rules changed, but I think for most fans, that one's at the top of the list.
And you know, you'll hear referees, I mean, Herb Dean tells guys that a lot. When they keep that hand on the mat, he tells them, hey, don't play that game. Don't play the game, because he knows the other fighter can't necessarily see it, and they try to time it.
Luque looking to establish that jab, but pretty good entry by Graves. Once again, able to dictate where this fight goes.
Yeah, Luque was able to stop the initial momentum of the takedown, but Graves just gritted out, finished. He's having a really hard time holding Luque down, though. Luque doing a nice job of not accepting position when he's on bottom. But when he does get to his feet, I just don't feel like he's scoring enough points. He's got to let his hands go and consistently defend those takedowns.
So unofficially, Michael Graves now 5 for 8 on the takedowns. Also outstriking Vicente Luque, at least in terms of the total strikes landed. We have crossed the midpoint of this fight.
That's a lot of takedowns for just a half of the fight. You can see Michael Graves, outstanding cardio. Very well prepared for this fight. He said he took it more serious than the other fight, and it's showing.
Right out of the chute, Graves fighting like a man possessed tonight. And we really didn't see Vicente Luque get controlled like this at all on that 21st season of The Ultimate Fighter. So impressive first few minutes of round number 2 here from Michael Graves after he largely dominated round 1.
Now, we talked about it when these fighters were walking out, that we knew Graves wanted this fight on the ground. He believed he had a grappling advantage, but he's also very comfortable striking. And sometimes guys go back to their comfort zone if they fail on one takedown or two. And we wondered, will Graves stick to the game plan? And so far, so good. He has stuck with it. He's been very disciplined. And now, this is the best control he's had on top of Luque.
No surprise to see the control time piling up in Michael Graves, more than a round now over Vicente Luque.
And Graves really using the fence to his advantage now. Luque's caught in that corner a little bit, which makes it more difficult. He's got to grab a wrist, and now exactly what he's doing that right. Scoot your hips to that fence. Get an underhook or wrist control. But look at Graves countering, sucking his hips back out and rotating that hip away from the fence. Excellent work there from Graves, and now scrambles and takes it back. Solid work there. Some nice chest going on between both of them, but Michael Graves coming out on top. And this is really going to wear down Vicente Luque. Exhausting. He's trying to get up, and it takes a lot of energy. And Graves just keep dragging him back down the mat.
Well, crowd getting a little bit restless, but this is how you neutralize the striking game of Vicente Luque. It has been all Michael Graves, and nicely placed knee there as soon as the third limb came up off the canvas.
He's down again.
Hey, sit over here, Baba. Sit over there. Relax. I want a deep breathing right now. Deep. Deep.
Mike, you just gotta be composed now. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Most important, he's just striking when he's right in front of you. Punch and move.
Breathe.
Punch and move. And you're not there for him to punch. He's tired, all right? He's gonna try to come with everything. You're gonna cruise, you're gonna use your jab, and you can do the same
You got
thing
5
again.
minutes. You got just 5 minutes, okay? It's yours. You're gonna take it.
I think he can
Okay?
still get his back on the ground, all right?
Breathe.
Okay.
Breathe
Still
with
look
me.
for that.
Breathe.
Look to get his back and get your arms in position to
Very
choke
good.
him, all right?
Very
Come
good.
on.
Very
Hey,
good.
5
Very
minutes,
good.
man.
You have this. You have
Be
it.
smart.
I know you have it. I know you have it. I know you have it, Baba.
All right, we are back here and ready for the third and final round. Want to take a look at the knee that was landed in that round and bring in our Vice President of Regulatory Affairs, Mark Ratner. Mark, a lot of people have an issue with this rule. How did you see this?
I do too. I've been against this rule for a while. It's almost like in basketball and football that the player's trying to draw a foul, right? And it's not. It's against the spirit of the rule. They're not. It doesn't make sense. It's really hard for the referee to see it, and I'm against it. And we're going to try to have that rule changed the way it is right now.
I know you will, my man. Thank you very much. We'll lean back on you if need be later in the telecast. All right, third and final round here. Michael Graves and Vicente Luque. Luque would appear to have some work to do. Might even need a finish given the lead. Nice left hand there by Luque on cue.
And perfectly timed and an excellent sprawl as well. He's looking to try and set up an anaconda choke here. Graves being very smart. He's keeping the left arm and his left elbow towards his waist, not allowing Luque to pull it towards his head. Smart defense here from Michael Graves. He knows that Luque can't finish this from there. He may try and posture up and then sit out. Now Luque's got to know Graves is tough to submit. Luque could be better served spinning around trying to take the back and finish a rear naked choke. Oh, now he's going to transition and go for a Darce. It's going to be hard. He's got his left hand trapped under the right armpit of Michael Graves. It's going to be really hard to get the kind of torque necessary to finish this choke. In order to finish this, he's got to try and rotate Graves onto the side of his hip. You know, you heard Ricardo Laborio tell Michael Graves in the corner, look, you're up 2 rounds to none. Just be poised, be careful. You can see Michael Graves taking his time to work out of this bad position.
Just over 3 minutes now to go in the fight.
Luque looking for that anaconda choke again.
One of his 3 career wins by submission coming by way of anaconda.
One of the things he can do to help him get one of these finishes, I've seen guys do before, they get that front headlock, they look to lock it in, they actually knee the shoulders of their opponent. You can knee the top of those shoulders and easily separate a shoulder, but it'll get a reaction out of your opponent and then maybe give you the space to scramble and finish that anaconda or a Darce. But you gotta be careful, because if you hit the head, it's illegal. And there's a Luque, now he's doing it. And now you see, Graves had that left arm forward. He missed his window there to possibly finish that anaconda choke. Corner of ATT yelling to Michael Graves. They want to see him sit through. He'll sit down to his rear end and arch his head backwards and throw Luque off. Nice scramble there from Graves, but Luque keeps position. ATT wants Michael Graves to get two hands on one wrist, separate that grip. Luke just being relentless from this position, but he's starting to run out of time for a finish.
Luque continues to apply pressure, landed that shoulder.
And there's the sit-up by Michael Graves. He waited, timed it perfectly, and now he's on top. Outstanding technique from Michael Graves.
All right, less than 90 seconds to go in this one, at least for now. Michael Graves appears to be out of harm's way.
And Luque's got to abandon that headlock right now, look more for an underhook, and get back to his feet as soon as possible. He's got a minute to finish this fight, because I believe he's down 2-0.
Luque came in with 3 times as many pro fights as the unbeaten 4-0 Michael Graves.
And so far, we've seen a far different fighter out of Michael Graves. He's put everything together nicely here, been more aggressive.
And we see that a lot on The Ultimate Fighter. The months elapse after the show, and guys look like completely different fighters. A definite fluidity to the striking game of Michael Graves early. He's leaned on the grappling as well with 5 takedowns.
It's so tough inside that house. You have to fight multiple times, wait multiple times in a very short span. You know, you've got to be careful. Any fight you get hurt in and you're out of the competition, so you have to fight a little bit more conservative. Luque in bad position. Looks like Graves, they're going to be able to finish his double leg. Or he could just ride him out for the last 10 seconds. Oh, huge elbow to finish the fight.
So Graves finishes strong there, much to the liking of that man, Dan Lambert, who you just saw there, coach of American Top Team. Strong showing for Michael Graves here tonight as he looks to remain undefeated. The High Performance Highlight is sponsored by NOS. Drink NOS with Complex 6 for enhanced mental focus and high performance energy.
We saw several times Michael Graves separate the clinch, execute some nice elbows. His timing on his takedowns was outstanding. Every time it looked like Luque was going to get some rhythm, Michael Graves was able to change levels, get him to the floor. And Michael Graves' top control improved over the course of the fight. He struggled to hold Luque down. Look at the athleticism and some of the transitions possessed by Michael Graves. Far improved from what we saw inside the house.
The 6 takedowns, a big story for Michael Graves. Also landed more strikes. We'll get to the official decision after this as the finale continues live from Vegas. On Saturday, August 1st, from the HSBC Arena in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, it is UFC 190. Perhaps the most dominant champion in the sport today, Ronda Rousey, puts her belt on the line in her challenger's backyard as she faces undefeated Brazilian Bethe Correia. It is live, Saturday, August 1. It is only on pay-per-view. All right, here's Bruce Buffer now with the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. All 3 judges score the contest. 29-28 for the winner by unanimous decision, Michael Graves.
Still undefeated and proudly representing American Top Team here tonight, Michael Graves. Man, you just got after it right out of the chute. Have improved so much since the season of The Ultimate Fighter. Congratulations. How do you feel about your UFC debut?
I don't want to take anything away from Vincente or the Black Cillians, but I gassed out a little bit in the 3rd round. I've been working really hard since the show, and, obviously I need to work harder.
Well, clearly, at least in my opinion, your hard work paid dividends here tonight. Your assessment of your performance, particularly when it came to the grappling, it seemed like the takedowns were there really anytime you went to it.
I wouldn't say they were there anytime I went to. Vincente is tough, but I've been working hard. I work with Lebo and all the guys at Top Team, beat me up on a daily basis, so...
Obviously, this is a special moment for you here. You're still just a young man. What was it like to put on this type of show with most of American Top Team here supporting you and making a lot of noise in the process?
It was good, like I said in the show, I did this for American Top Team. I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for Lebo and Dan and all the guys sitting over there, so.
Well, congratulations. Go enjoy the victory. Still undefeated. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Michael Graves.
We'll talk about being your own biggest critic. Michael Graves being tough on himself for that performance. He showcased a ton of improvements. Very dominant for his 2 rounds that he won. Control time 8:38. 6 takedowns is a heck of a lot. He attempted far more than that, but that will wear you down and take a lot of energy. Lots of improvements for him.
So Michael Graves improves to 5-0. With his kids there with him, there is the UFC middleweight champion, Chris Weidman. He will fight Luke Rockhold at some point before we close the book on 2015. Well, there is the trophy for the Ultimate Fighter. The winning team, will it be American Top Team or the Blackzilians? We will take care of that business here shortly. Coming up next, it all comes down to this. The Blackzilians, Kamaru Usman, unbeaten on the Ultimate Fighter. Now his sights are set on American Top Team's Haider Hassan. Hassan went 3-0 on the show. He now gets the fight he so wanted all season long as he looks to pluck off another Blackzilian.
I'm gonna be ruthless. I'm gonna be scary. I'm gonna have zero hesitation. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna break Kamaru's will. This is my night. This is my destiny, and not even Haider Hassan can stand in the way of that. I'm a confidence buster, and once I connect, it's a game over. My mission is to break Kamaru's face. I'm ready for war. I don't care what he brings into the octagon. In this fight, Haider thinks it's gonna be a war, but that's what he thinks. I'm gonna go out there and knock Kamaru's head into the upper deck. I'm definitely looking to go out there and finish Haider Hassan just like I do in every one of my fights.
Tuesday, baseball's best players gather in Cincinnati for the Midsummer Classic with home field advantage in the World Series on the line. Our coverage of the 2015 MLB All-Star Game presented by T-Mobile begins Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. All right, that brings us to the Ultimate Fighter Final. American Top Team won $200,000 for the regular season. Points win, $300,000 large on the line in our final bout. Kamaru Usman representing the Blackzilians against American Top Team's Haider Hassan.
Man, excited to see these fights. Both of these guys have a tremendous amount of pressure on them. They know it, and they're anxious to showcase their skills despite that pressure.
$300,000 on the line. Harley-Davidson, the trophy. And more importantly, bragging rights. You know, Glenn Robinson, the owner of the Blackzilians, would like a chance to celebrate tonight. And there is his arch enemy. If you read the lips there of Dan Lambert, no love lost. We will take a closer look now at the 2 last men standing from the Ultimate Fighter.
I've always had desire and passion to be the best. Just constant belief in myself. If you just stay the course, if you just keep believing in what you're gonna do, good things will happen. I bust my butt day in and day out to make sure that I can back up everything that my mouth says.
This is for the future champion of the world, Haider Hassan. Cheers.
Love you guys. I live with my family. My family's my backbone. You know, they're a huge support structure.
Whatever you want to accomplish in this life, you're going to have passion for it. I told them, don't be afraid of anything. This game doesn't allow for doubt.
I'm gonna go out there and bust them up good. Promise you that. I'm a fighter that relies on pressure. I accept pressure. It makes me perform better. I train at the best gym in the world. That's American Top Team. I have the best coaches. I have the best sparring partners.
Haider's the kind of guy you want in your gym. He's a team guy, there to help everybody. And when he steps in the cage, he's an animal. I'm gonna execute my game plan flawlessly, and I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna break Kamaru's face. Come get some, that's all I'm gonna say, come get some. I think Kamaru's gonna react like most guys do when Haider gets his hands on him and touches him up. I think he's gonna go to sleep.
Come for you, Kamaru. Good night.
This fight means the world to me. This is everything that I've worked for. Nothing can stop me from the goal that I want. This fight is going to set the tone. I'm there to take major steps to get to that ultimate goal, and that's being the world champion. There's so many things that motivate me, but my family has to be number one. My daughter's name is Samira Usman. She is 11 months old. My lady. That's what I said too. It doesn't matter if I have a rough day, if everything hurts on me. When I see her and she sees me and she flashes that smile, everything goes away. All right, man. Push. There's people that I can't let down now. And And that right now is my biggest motivation. This fight with Hyder is going to go wherever I want the fight to go. If I want it to stay standing, it's going to stay standing. If I want it to go down to the ground, I can take it down to the ground in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that's it. Mara's not cocky. He's confident. Listen, the bottom line is the guy's proven himself. By no means is this going to be an easy fight, but Kamaru's fast. He's got great wrestling. He's got great control of the cage. We're looking forward to bringing the trophy back to our gym. Dan's welcome to come visit it whenever he wants.
I've trained hard, and now I just need to go out there and do what I do best. Hyder's a one-dimensional fighter. He can say whatever he wants, but when I go out there and I shut his mouth, it's going to feel great.
All right, straight ahead, we get to the last two men standing. Kamaru Usman has won 4 straight fights, but all that matters is this one tonight. Can he stop the Blackzilians killer Hyder Hassan from sweeping his way through the field and becoming the Ultimate Fighter? We find out next. Our tale of the tape is sponsored by Bud Light, the perfect beer for whatever happens. The 28-year-old Nigerian Kamaru Usman take on the 32-year-old American Hyder Hassan. Usman 2 inches taller, far more pronounced in the reach department, where Usman has a 6-inch advantage. And now to get us started, here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is to determine who will win the Ultimate Fighter Team Challenge and be awarded a team check for $300,000. And now, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 6 wins, 1 loss. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighing in at 170 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of Coconut Creek, Florida, representing American Top Team, Hyder Hassan. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a freestyle fighter holding a professional record, 5 wins, 1 loss. He stands 6 feet tall, weighing in at 170 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of Boca Raton, Florida, representing the Blackzilians team, Kamaru, the Nigerian Nightmare, Usman. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Herb Dean.
So Herb Dean, third man in there for this one.
All right, gentlemen, we've been over the rules. Protect yourself at all times. Follow my instructions. We're going to have a clean fight. Touch gloves if you wish, and let's do this.
You can almost feel the tension in the building as you look at the members of American Top Team and the Blackzilians. It all comes down to this. $300,000 at stake. And more important than that, bragging rights forever as the winner of this team challenge. American Top Team's Hyder Hassan is in the red. The Blackzilians, Kamaru Usman, in the black trunks.
Usman wants to earn Hassan's respect on the feet, but then use some well-timed takedowns. They feel like Hassan overextends on his strikes because he tries to hit too hard at times. That's exactly what he wants. It wants to grind him out a little bit, wear down the arms, suck out some of the power from those punches. Conversely, Hassan just feels it's a matter of time. At some point in these 3 rounds, he's going to knock out Usman. He says because of Usman's stance and his flat-footed nature, he absorbs punches, and you just can't absorb his punches.
Hassan, despite 3 wins on the show, swelled to a plus 175 underdog here tonight. And I believe it was episode 1, Hassan was already calling out Usman.
A very nice scramble there from Hassan. He's going to need a lot more of that in this fight. It was the first time he tags Usman. You know, Usman's going to want to go right back to that comfort zone and go wrestle. And the real X factor here is, you know, we've seen so many guys that train under Henry Hoof at Blackzilians. You know, they go in there one style and he really evolves their game. He adds a lot, especially to the kicks. Usman has power of his own, switches stances often. Maybe he can show something to Hassan that Hassan's never seen before.
Good knee there on the inside, and another one for good measure by Usman.
And Hassan doing his best to keep his hips away from Usman, trying to avoid the clinch and the takedown here. Good forward pressure here from Usman.
Can't even imagine the pressure to try to come through for an entire team like this.
Yeah, especially when it's attached to $300,000. Absolutely.
I mean, MMA very much an individual sport, but this season showed you just how powerful those team dynamics can be.
A nice takedown there from Usman. Hassan's got to be careful when he scrambles. Gives up his back now. Usman trying to keep the weight towards the arms of Hassan, not really looking to insert hooks. Both these guys have such storied backgrounds to their families. You know, Usman coming here at 7 years old from Nigeria, and Hassan, his father a doctor, escaping Iraq under the threat of execution from Saddam Hussein, and his uncle was executed 2 weeks later. There may be no prouder American in the building than Haider Hassan.
Well put. Usman continues to apply pressure here.
Hassan's going to try and shake Usman off and keep his weight towards his head. Usman's got all his weight towards the head of Haider Hassan. He's got to try and kick that left leg around and get his second hook in. Either way, this is putting a tremendous amount of pressure on the arms of Haider Hassan. A lot of times when you see power strikers escape the clinch after this much grinding, they just don't have the same kind of heat or hand speed. Smart game plan being employed here from Kamaru Usman.
Usman continues to land here. Under 2 minutes now to go in round one. 2 takedowns on 5 attempts to this point in the fight for the Blackzilians, Rep Kamaru Usman.
This is so frustrating. When you're a power striker, you want to put on an exciting performance, and the other guy's just suffocating you and not allowing you and draining the energy. It can have massive psychological effects. Every time Hassan starts to work his way up, Usman finds a way to drag him back down. Now he's got both hooks in.
You know, it's interesting to watch the Blackzilians come to the decision to fight Kamaru Usman in this spot tonight. Some team members thought Vicente Luque maybe deserved the rematch with Hassan. So far, the decision looks like a good one. Under a minute now going around.
Certainly. And I think this was a safer bet, just the matchup, knowing that Usman could just suffocate you, and he's so athletic and he's learning so fast. And again, repeated takedowns. Hassan's got to do his best not to get overly frustrated and understand, look, round 2, I get a second chance. The fight starts on our feet.
Neither guy with any submission wins coming in.
No, and the biggest problem for Hassan is Usman's not having to work that hard to finish these takedowns. So
right.
I don't feel like he's going to gas from the repeated attempts.
All right, strong start for the Blackzilians here.
I want you to breathe, baby. Dali, breathe. Deep breathing. Deep breathing, yes.
Okay, this is all he's about. You know, he's gonna try to do it over and over. Don't give him space now. Let your hand go.
Stay like that. Let your fucking hands go. All right? Let him go.
Another breathing.
Don't grab, don't worry about it. Shoot.
A right hook, okay? Cross a right hook.
2 more rounds.
Stay focused, come on.
Well, don't forget Fox Sports Live follows us. Post-fight coverage from the Ultimate Fighter finale live here in Las Vegas immediately following our main event between Jake Ellenberger and Stephen Thompson. Round 2 now between Haider Hassan and Kamaru Usman.
Usman got hurt by that uppercut. And Hassan got too aggressive there. Got desperate now. Usman back in control, and he's trying to repay the favor.
Quick recovery by Usman.
And just excellent transitions here. You know, A is an answer for everything Hassan's doing on the ground. That's the hard part. When you go against wrestlers of this caliber, they just have that stifling top control. Every time you move, they rotate around you and just continue to stay on top. Usman's got the setup for an arm triangle choke here. It's going to be really, he's going to have to be really strong to finish it from here. Not being able to get his body perpendicular to Hassan, which is the traditional way of finishing this choke. Some guys are absolutely strong enough to complete this from mount, but it takes a ton of strength and pressure. Hassan's struggling to breathe. I can hear it here from the desk.
Well, as far
Usman may be able to finish this.
They don't come much bigger than Haider Hassan. Look like a tap.
That's it.
Kamaru Usman comes up huge for the Blackzilians. show, but the last lap goes to the Blackzilians. They got the matchup they wanted. Kamaru Usman comes through tonight.
A very tough stylistic matchup for Haider Hassan, and Kamaru Usman shows the massive potential he possesses. Fantastic athlete, excellent transitions on the ground. Now we see the added submission game. Other than that one uppercut that Hassan landed, Kamaru Usman was in total control of that fight.
Michael Johnson, Rashad Evans, the rest of the Blackzilians are celebrating. The High Performance Highlight is sponsored by NOS. Drink NOS with Complex 6 for enhanced mental focus and high performance energy.
Just excellent top transitions here. He felt that left arm come over his head. He immediately started to work the arm triangle choke and just believed it and stuck with it. It takes tremendous physical strength to finish it from this position. And Kamaru Usman possesses just that. And we could hear here cage side how hard it was for Haider Hassan to breathe. And eventually he had to tap her. He was going unconscious. Kamaru Usman is an extremely strong man.
So that will make it 5 consecutive wins for Kamaru Usman. None bigger than that one. Emotional moment there with the owner of the Blackzilians, Glenn Robinson. The Blackzilians dominated the first part of the show. ATT rallied. The Blackzilians own tonight at the Ultimate Fighter finale. All right, the official decision coming up next. We will also talk to Kamaru Usman after this as the finale continues live from Vegas. Stay with us. Here in Las Vegas, Kamaru Usman comes through against Haider Hassan. Well, Harley Davidson is proud to award the Blackzilians rep Kamaru Usman with a Street 750 motorcycle. This is real steel forged from the ground up to turn the urban grid into your own personal playground. To see the full lineup of Harley Davidson motorcycles, go to h-d.com. All right, now we go inside the octagon. Bruce Buffer has the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Herb Dean has called a stop to this contest at 1 minute, 19 seconds of the second round, declaring the winner by submission due to an arm triangle, representing the Ultimate Fighter Team Competition winners, the Blackzilians, Kamaru, the Nigerian Nightmare,
All right, congratulations to Usman. Congratulations to the Blackzilians. You guys win $300,000, the Ultimate Fighter Trophy, and you win a brand new Harley Davidson motorcycle. Congratulations, you guys.
All right, I am here with your winner, Kamaru Usman. Congratulations. With all the pressure on you to represent the Blackzilians, you come up large here tonight. Can you describe your emotions after coming up so big for your team tonight?
I feel great. I mean, you know, it was a long road. I've been working so hard for this, and my manager believed in me when most didn't. And, you know, I'm glad he decided to trust me and put me in a position for me to go out and represent my team and get the job done, because I knew I could get the job done for us.
Obviously, the takedowns were big for you here tonight. Can you talk us through the end of the fight? Takes a lot of strength to be able to wrap up that head and arm choke from that position.
Yeah, it's just something that I've added to my, my arsenal. My jiu-jitsu coach right here, George Santiago. We work a lot of different positions, and I've been definitely trying to get in that gi as much as possible whenever I can. I try to get in there and work, and he works with me day in and day out to make sure I have those submissions to go along with the takedown. It's one thing to get somebody down on the ground, but it's another thing to be able to finish them there.
Looked like he stung you there early on in round 2. Were you dazed and confused at all, or not at all?
It wasn't really I don't know if it was a punch or something that hit me. I wasn't really dazed, but it got my attention for sure, and it's like, okay, let's go ahead and finish the fight then.
Well, this night belongs to you and the Blackzilians. Your team gets $300,000, the trophy you own tonight and the season. Congratulations. Enjoy the win. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Kamaru Usman. All right, now we step over here and talk to the owner of the Blackzilians, Glenn Robinson. It was a season filled with emotion. I guess you get the last laugh. Congratulations. What are you feeling right about now?
You know, Haider is such a dangerous and talented fighter, and I have nothing but respect for him, but I know Kamaru is just such a well-rounded fighter, and I love Kamaru with all my heart. I've seen him grow up from the time he walked in our gym. I knew what he was capable of doing. I saw him practice that choke over and over and over again. So, listen, I've had complete confidence in him, and I'm just so proud.
You guys made the right call here with the matchup tonight, and Kamaru comes through. Congratulations. Enjoy it. I know they're celebrating in Boca Raton. Glenn Robinson, ladies and gentlemen. The UFC returns to pay-per-view on the 1st of the month, and all eyes are on bantamweight champion Ronda Rousey, who looks to continue her reign of dominance on the road.
The most dominant champion in UFC history, Ronda Rousey's reign over the women's bantamweight division has also been the most intimidating in combat sports history.
Wow, right down! Look at that! Oh, man. She gave her the arm. She gave her and it's all over! Wow!
With her last 3 victories coming in 66, 16, and 14 seconds. That combined 1 minute and 36 seconds of devastation has left few fighters willing to step into the octagon with the Olympic medalist.
The greatest fighter in the world right now, Ronda Rousey.
Eu quero deixar recado aqui pra Ronda. Eu desafio a tentar tirar minha invencibilidade. Eu vou estar você tá invicta.
Unbeaten Betch Correia isn't just calling for a world title fight, though. Instead, Brazil's Pitbull has systematically hit home at Rousey by picking off her friends and teammates, the 4 horsewomen, one by one.
Correia nicely mixing it up. Shayna's in trouble, looking to knock her out. And it's all over. Half of the horsewomen down, and she wants the leader, Rowdy Ronda Rousey.
At UFC 190, Correia gets her shot at the champion, and Rousey has not just agreed to the matchup, but she has demanded to go into Rio de Janeiro, Brazil to do it.
That's Correia. She's undefeated. I'd like to take that O away from her.
UFC 190, Rousey versus Correia. The last of the 4 horsewomen faces a raging Pitbull.
Gotta love it. That is the main event, Saturday, August 1st, as we take a look at the bantamweight top 10. So many of the women on this list have been humbled by the champion, Ronda Rousey.
Massively humbled at that. Betch Correia has been barking for an awful long time and beaten up on the champion's friends. It was only a matter of time, and you got to think that Ronda Rousey is extremely motivated for this fight. You know, Correia does bring in one-punch knockout power, but we've also seen that from the champion now. Her boxing looks so sharp, so crisp, ever improving, but Correia has heart. If you stand in front of her, she will make you crumble. The question is, will she allow Ronda to get her hands on her? And does Ronda choose to use her judo? Ronda really has a ton of confidence in her hands now, and she may want to go out there and embarrass Betch Correia at her home game. We'll see if pride takes over, if she goes for bread and butter, gets her down on the mat, and tries to take her arm home with her.
Well, it speaks to Rousey's greatness and her competitive nature that she wanted this fight in Brazil. I wonder if she might even have the crowd because she's so popular down there in Correia's backyard. We shall see. August 1, UFC 190, Rousey versus Correia, live from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. You can only see it on pay-per-view. All right, coming up next, it is the main event of the evening. What a way to close out International Fight Week, as welterweight hopefuls Jake Ellenberger and Stephen Thompson share the marquee. Only one man leaves Vegas a contender. Who will it be? The headliners make the walk next. And welcome back to Las Vegas. The Fox Sports Strike Zone is sponsored by Reebok. Be more human. All right, we are just about ready for the main event. John Anik and Brian Stan. Brian, let's take a look at the Fox Sports Strike Zone.
Absolutely. Let's start with Jake Ellenberger. You know, the first thing you want to talk about Jake Ellenberger is his striking. He's got one-punch knockout power. When he closes the distance, either hand can put your lights out. And he's a guy that has good wrestling as well. And the threat of the takedown sometimes opens up some of those power shots. 5 wins by knockout TKO. And that's exactly what he's going to want to do in this fight. But key number 1, constant pressure. You can't give a karate range striker the distance he needs. His second key, power punches, but put them in bunches. You're not going to hit a guy like Stephen Thompson without throwing 3 and 4 strikes at a time. And the final key, land the takedown. Make sure that Stephen Thompson has something more to focus on than just striking. The man's been striking his entire life. For Stephen Thompson, this guy is so unique and unorthodox. He strikes very effectively from multiple different stances. He's evolving ever so on the ground as well, but he's extremely accurate, and he's also very fast from odd angles. His first key, start off fast. Don't allow Jake Ellenberger's confidence to grow in the opening rounds. Number 2, use his reach. He's a very long, rangy fighter. Maintain his range. Keep those kicks in the game by keeping Jake away from him. In the final key, stop the takedown. Don't let Jake Ellenberger get him down on his back and try and grind out this fight. Keep it on the feet where he's a master.
All right, nicely done, my man. UFC Fight Kits available at Reebok.com and select Sports Authority locations. All right, it is now time for the main event, which is sponsored by Harley-Davidson, the only motorcycle worthy of being in the octagon. All right, Brian Stan, here we go. Jake Ellenberger, 4 times as much pro experience as Stephen Thompson, but for Wonder Boy, his prime appears to be now.
Oh, certainly. And, Wonder Boy has a massive kickboxing background before he came into mixed martial arts, so he's got a lot of combat experience. And Jake Ellenberger spent a lot of time training with Lyoto Machida to prepare for this fight. Probably one of the only guys you can get to mimic the style of Stephen Thompson. Both guys have a lot of pressure on them for different reasons. They both want to prove they're contenders in this weight division. Ellenberger to prove he's still a contender, for Thompson to enter that top 10 and start fighting bigger, higher caliber guys.
All right, well, a lot of people think Stephen Thompson has championship potential. We will see if he can continue his ascent here tonight against Jake Ellenberger in the main event.
I always think I'm going to win. Stepping out there in the cage, it doesn't matter who I face. I could fight a heavyweight. I'm thinking I want to win. If you don't have that confidence, you don't think you're the greatest, then you're not.
Jake Ellenberger versus Thompson is a must-win fight for both fighters at 170 pounds. Jake Ellenberger is at that stage of his career where he has got to make this run at the title. For Stephen Thompson, Jake Ellenberger represents a legitimate shot at the top 10. You're looking at a guy who could easily be challenging for the title in a year or two.
Stephen Thompson's got some flashy kicks, I would say. He should hopefully be confident in his skills, but he hasn't really had the experience or faced the adversity that I faced.
Jake Ellenberger has been in there with world-class competition since the beginning of his UFC tenure.
Ellenberger's a monster. He's got a lot of tools that he uses very well. I just got to be one step ahead of him. This is going to be a very one-sided beatdown. I see this fight being stopped by the ref, being a TKO. This is just a step back to the world title. He thinks he can break me. He can try.
Jake Ellenberger had a string of very disappointing losses. He desperately needs a victory here.
Man, he needed that.
In this fight, I'm just looking to impress myself. I'm looking to do exactly what I say I'm gonna do, and do it better than I think I'm gonna do. I think he knows that I'm a threat, and I think that bothers him. I'm really not extremely worried about him, no. Even though Jake is a veteran, he hasn't faced somebody quite as unique as me in my style.
Stephen Wonderboy Thompson is a spectacular striker, and he moves unlike anybody we've ever seen inside the octagon.
I throw things from different angles, and I think it's going to be a very difficult fight for him. He does a lot of movement, a lot of things that are really not worth any value. That behavior is really only as powerful as you make it. For me, it's not really what he's going to do, it's really what I'm going to take. Anywhere this fight goes, I'll beat him. It's a big fight for both of us. I'm going to work my butt off to make sure that my hand is raised at the end of that fight.
Stephen Wonderboy Thompson was to get his first UFC main event nod earlier this year against Brandon Thatch in Colorado. Injuries prevented that fight from happening, but it is undeniable here in 2015. Stephen Thompson worthy of this main event showcase.
A lifelong martial artist, not just in technique, but in character. Very passionate about passing on all of his skills and knowledge, but also being a mentor in the lives of his students. Full-time instructor in a kids program where he is a massive part of their lives. Takes them to different events, goes and meets with their teachers and principals. Just so much character this young man possesses, and his style is very unique. And he had the wherewithal after a lifelong martial arts success. Found some holes in his game when he fought Matt Brown, sought out Chris Weidman and trained with him consistently. Spent most of his camp with Chris Weidman, working on his grappling, working on his wrestling, figuring out the styles that are going to be able to defeat him and finding the counters to the very hard-working guy. And Chris Weidman just can't say enough great things about Stephen Thompson.
57-0 with 40 knockouts as a kickboxer, a 5-time world champion. They call him Wonder Boy. He got the nickname after beating a guy at 15 years old. The loser said, "I wonder why I got in the ring with that boy."
hits you at odd angles. He's so hard to prepare for it and get a feel for it. It generally takes guys, the whole first round just to get his timing and his range.
One of the best kickboxers to ever cross over into mixed martial arts, Stephen Thompson. Currently the number 9 ranked welterweight in the world, Jake Ellenberger, 40th professional fight here tonight, his 15th UFC appearance. On Tuesday, he welcomed his son, Jamison Joseph, into the world. Tonight, he is the underdog against the oncoming Stephen Wonderboy Thompson.
I spoke to him this week. He had so much confidence in me, and he pointed to the birth of his son. He said it really was uplifting. A lot of people would think that's a distraction or there'd be some negativity, and draw away from my fight, but it wasn't. It really motivated him that much further. And we all know this is a guy who really thrives on confidence. We've seen him when he's confident and when he feels good in there, and he can be devastating. We've seen him when he's questioned himself and been timid, and we've seen the opposite. His last win against Josh Koscheck was really a step in the right direction towards getting his confidence and being the juggernaut once again. And he wants to be in the face of Stephen Thompson all night. He thinks that a lot of what Thompson does is just a distraction. He said he legitimately sat down and did a lot of film diagnosis and drilling with Lyoto Machida, who he said taught him a lot of secrets to defeating this karate style and how you can counter all the different angles in the footwork. We're going to see how that worked out for him here in a minute.
5 of his last 9 wins have come by knockout or TKO, but he comes in here, as Brian alluded to, on the strength of a submission win over Josh Koscheck earlier in 2015. That night, his back was very much up against the proverbial wall. He came up big that night. He looks to come up big here tonight. You see, 20 of his 30 pro wins have come by way of knockout or TKO. This man is a finisher in every sense. He started in the game young, so a lot of MMA miles on the tank. And tonight, he tries to stop the momentum of a guy in Stephen Thompson, who a lot of people believe is a future title contender here at 170 pounds. All right, here we go with the main event. We get to the Bud Light tail of the tape. Jake Ellenberger, 30 years old. Stephen Thompson is 32. You see the obvious discrepancy there in height, but Ellenberger a slightly longer reach of half an inch. All right, now to get us started with the official introductions, the veteran voice of the Octagon, Bruce Buck.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. Sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, Chairman Francisco Aguilar, Executive Director Bob Bennett, Commissioners Skip Avancino, Pat Lundvall, and Anthony Marnell Jr. Our 3 judges scoring this contest at Octagon side are Glenn Trowbridge, Sal D'Amato, and Marcos Rosales. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, John McCarthy. And now, live from the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas, it's time! 5 rounds in the UFC welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 10 wins, 1 loss. He stands 6 feet tall, weighing in at 170 and 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of Simpsonville, South Carolina, presenting a 5-time world champion kickboxer, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a freestyle fighter holding a professional record, 30 wins, 9 losses. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing in at 170 and 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of Lake Forest, California, by way of Omaha, Nebraska, presenting the number 9 welterweight fighter in the world, Jake the Juggernaut, Ellenberger.
Jake. Gentlemen, got over the rules. In the back, protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. If you want to touch gloves, touch them now. Good luck to both of you.
Jake Ellenberger and Stephen Thompson in the welterweight main event. Thompson always looks happy, not so much for the Juggernaut here tonight.
Yeah, the Juggernaut looks very focused.
All right, here we go. You ready? You ready? Get up!
And with that touch of the gloves, we are underway. Ellenberger in the center of the octagon wearing the black. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson in the white.
The interesting note, while the reach was about identical, in fact, Ellenberger has a half-inch reach advantage. Stephen Thompson fights much longer because of the kicks, because his legs are very long in his stance. You see a very bladed stance. He maintains range with a lot of side kicks, but when he's in that right-handed stance, it's very different from when he's southpaw. When he's southpaw, it's a lot of lead leg kicks with that right foot. And he has a sneaky straight left, but his power punching comes more from the orthodox stance when he stands right.
Didn't take Stephen Thompson long to surface on the UFC radar. Knockout of the night, his UFC debut against Dan Stidgen at UFC 143 back in 2012. And has been near perfect since. Stings Ellenberger as he gets that left hand right through the goal.
And he's got such deceptive hand speed. He keeps him very low, and you're kind of watching out for the legs, and his hands are very, very quick. Immediately, Ellenberger's given far too much respect right now, allowing Thompson to maintain his distance. This is not the way you can beat this style.
Oh, but he drops him! Thompson trying to recover.
Ellenberger needs to separate here and just open up. We talked about the one-punch knockout power. We've seen it in a lot of Ellenberger's fights. He has the ability to completely change the course of a fight with either hand. Smart move by Thompson here to tie him up, try and regain his wits.
So an early knockdown for the underdog, Jake Ellenberger.
And as soon as he closes distance and lands one strike, he drops it. That's a tremendous psychological advantage now for the rest of this fight. That's going to be in the head of Stephen Thompson. Now we're seeing some of the work Stephen Thompson's done with the champ Chris Weidman on his wrestling. Not necessarily looking to finish the takedown.
Elbows there for Jake Ellenberger. Stephen Thompson with a pretty quick recovery. Thompson has never been finished in 11 pro fights.
We talked about how key confidence was for Ellenberger, and that was key for Thompson to get off to a fast start. Boy, he countered the power of Ellenberger there with that kick, but it's Ellenberger with a nice inside trip, and look at the scramble from Stephen Thompson.
Ellenberger covering up.
Outstanding back and forth action here in round one. Just when you think one guy's winning, the other guy shakes it up.
Scheduled for 5 5-minute rounds here tonight.
Ellenberger got hurt from that kick to the eye.
Yes.
Here's a side of Stephen Thompson we don't get to see often. Here's the evolution and the rounding out of his game. We always talk about the striking. Doing a nice job of top control here.
Watch the back of the head, stick. Look at that. There you go.
Boy, he's landed with some solid power here in this position.
Ellenberger trying to get into striking range here.
Certainly, fakes and feints will help him. He doesn't want to stand here at this range. He wants to get inside and let those hands go. The first time he did it, he dropped it. Oh, nice left hand note from Stephen Thompson, who's unloading now.
Ellenberger showing off a pretty good shin here in round one.
And Thompson showing that he's shaking out the cobwebs completely.
Yeah.
Really, I wondered if he'd be willing to engage again.
Spinning attack by Thompson. Ellenberger goes down.
Unbelievable weighted flush to the jaw of Jake Ellenberger. Somehow he's still hanging on.
Less than a minute now to go in the round. Stephen Thompson chasing the biggest win of his career.
Just incredible the diversity of strikes you have to be concerned with when you fight Stephen Thompson. Ellenberger still doesn't have his legs underneath him.
Another spinning attack. And he connected. That's it. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson knocks Jake Ellenberger out cold. The hype is real, ladies and gentlemen. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Man.
What an athlete. just incredible. Adds another ridiculous highlight to his reel. This guy is a poster boy for all traditional martial artists out there.
A human highlight reel, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson adding to that reel with style points here tonight. His first UFC main event, and it couldn't have gone a whole lot better. The High Performance Highlight is sponsored by NOS. Drink NOS with Complex 6 for enhanced mental focus and high performance energy.
You see the spinning hook kick here, boom. Oh, just crumbles Jake Ellenberger, follows it up immediately. The same kick that hurt him initially. Right across the temple and the forehead, and you could just see it topple Jake Ellenberger. What an outstanding showcase fight for Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. It shows how dangerous he is, how diverse his striking is, how confusing, but also showed his wrestling, his grappling, and the improvements he's made in other areas. Wow.
And you mentioned he fights long. Ellenberger sort of saw the strike coming, backed up, and yet it still connects. And gets the knockdown and eventual knockout for Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. There are few men in the UFC who can do what that man can do inside the octagon. All right, coming up next, we will talk to Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and get to the official decision after this as the finale continues.
Knockout Stephen Wonderboy Thompson.
All right, here is your winner, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Another one for the highlight reel here tonight. First main event for you, and you come up big. Congratulations on the victory.
Thank you very much, man. You know, I want to thank my Lord and Savior and everybody that helped me get here, man. I'm excited and I'm ready, baby. I'm ready.
So at one point he did sting you, but you recovered very quickly. How stunned were you in that moment? Because the recovery really didn't take you long.
Yeah, I mean, I felt his punch. You know, it was one of those flash knockdowns. I was still coherent when it happened. My legs just gave out. I kept on going. Didn't give up. That's what happens when you don't give up, baby.
You've made great strides in your all-around game. I want to take a look at the spinning hook kick if we could, and if you could just talk us through what was just a scintillating finish here tonight.
Well, he was standing right in front of me, wasn't doing a whole lot of movement. I heard my coach, my head coach, Ray Thompson, my father, he told me to spin, so I spun. I knew I hit him right on top of the head the first time. He told me to do it again because he was still dazed. Do it again, and it landed, man.
You know, you've had a lot of expectations placed upon you since you stepped foot inside this octagon. Knockout of the night in your UFC debut. Can you talk about what it feels like to come through on this stage in your first UFC main event?
Man, this is my first main event. I came out here to put on a show. Hopefully you guys had a great time. I put on a show for you guys, and we'll definitely want to do it again, baby. Give me them top 10.
You are a special striker, a special athlete. Congratulations. 5 consecutive wins. Your winner, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson.
Hey, babies, that's what I'm talking about. Just an incredible all-around performance, and I am most impressed with the mental wherewithal, you know, to recover from that strike and then come back and re-engage. Not be afraid to re-engage. Like he said, don't give up. Opponent stood in front of him, and he took him right down. Wow, cannot wait to see him in another high-profile fight.
All right, that will do it for us. For Brian Stan and the production folks, John Anik saying so long for here, but don't go anywhere. More post-fight coverage on Fox Sports Live right after the break from Las Vegas. Stay with us.